welcome to episode 35 of the Knitty Heather podcast. My name is Heather and I'm coming to you from Kent, Washington, where I live with my husband Tom and our Cavalier King Charles Spaniel Pepper. This is my podcast where I chat all about everything I am working on, everything I am knitting and crocheting, and I always love to put a spotlight on amazing makers, whether they are designers, dyers, makers of project bags or progress keepers, anybody who adds to the beauty of our fiber community. If you are a new viewer, welcome. I hope you enjoy yourself. I'm glad you found me. And if you are a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back. I really appreciate it. If you would like to follow me, I am at Knitty Heather on Instagram, and I would love to see everything that you post and everything in your stories. Anything I talk about as far as yarn, patterns, or accessories will be listed and linked in the description box below. Today is Friday, August 20th, 2021, and I have a lot to tell you about, so let's get started. Today I am wearing my cartridge belt rib cowl. This I did in a big loop and I have wrapped it double around my neck. This is the cartridge belt rib stitch. I'll see if I can get a little closer up picture of it for you. This is a stitch I found on the new Stitch a Day website, and basically I just knit a scarf as long as I could with some leftover cream sport weight yarn. I'm not sure exactly what the yarn was, but it was a cream, I believe, sport weight yarn, and I just knit it as long as the yarn would let me and whip stitched it together in a loop. This is a very easy, fun, reversible stitch that is perfect for a scarf or cowl. Check out the cartridge belt rib stitch on the new Stitch a Day website. Today I am also wearing a pair of socks from Desert Vista Dye Works. I knit these last August for her monthly sock club. This colorway is called Gelato, and it has the colors of many delicious flavors of gelato. This is a plain vanilla sock that was knit toe up with the Fish Lips Kiss heel and about 12 rounds of a 2x2 rib for the cuff. Well, right now where I live, we are doing a local yarn store tour, and last weekend I was able to stop at a couple of my favorite local yarn stores to support them on the Pacific Northwest LYS tour. So I'd love to share with you some of the acquisitions I got from my mini little yarn tour. My first stop was at Maker's Mercantile here in Kent, and I was able to pick up their featured sock pattern called the Crab Walk socks. It is made out of Kobasi by ChiaoGoo. It is a cotton, bamboo, and silk blend. And I chose to pick up the colorways that they knit the sample in. This is Rafi Tonal and White. This is a yarn that they have so many different color combinations that would look great with this sock pattern. The Crab Walk socks are really cute. Looks like it'll be really fun to knit up with some fun stripes. And I'm looking forward to casting that on someday. Check out the Crab Walk socks by Ellen Thomas of the Chili Dog, knit up in Haiku Kobasi. Next, I picked up a kit for the Pine Bough Cowl by Diana Walla. This is a really beautiful color work cowl, and the kit that they came up with is Silber Monde by Zitrone. This is in the colorway beige. And they also put in a couple balls of Shoppel Edition 3. This is the colorway 1523. And they will go really super beautifully together in this cowl. This should be a really fun colorwork cowl to cast on one of these days. Check out the Pine Bough Cowl by Diana Walla. The next day, I was sure to stop at the new Knittery in Renton, Washington as my second stop on the LYS tour. There, I picked up yarn to knit two different hats. The first hat is the Acorn Aran Lace Beret by Judy Russi, and I bought Yarns Northwest Silk and Merino in the colorway Indigo to knit that hat up in. I think that will turn out really beautifully, and they had a sample in the shop of that hat using this exact colorway that I thought was so beautiful. I haven't worked with a lot of silk before, but this is so shiny, so soft, so beautiful. I'm really excited to try this silk and merino from Yarns Northwest. It is 70% merino wool and 30% silk. They also had a really beautiful sample of the stranded snowflake hat by Nicole Bennett. It's a classic snowflake colorwork hat, and I also chose Yarns Northwest Silk and Merino To do that hat, I wanted to get some nice contrast, and I picked beige and curry. I think those two will go really nicely together. I will use the beige as the background, and I think I will do the snowflake part in the curry color. Let me know in the comments below if you think that's the right way, or should I do the snowflakes in the beige and have the main hat be the curry color? I think I want the snowflakes in the curry, but let me know what you think down below. Now on to my finished object. The first I'd like to share with you today, it is my first sock of my summer rainbow connection socks. Here it is. This is the Rainbow Connection pattern by Kay Litton, the Crazy Sock Lady, and I knit it in the summer rainbow sock set from Desert Vista Dye Works that had two 50-gram half skeins, this black color and this really pretty neon self-striping color. As you can see, it is a beautiful slip stitch pattern across the front, and then it is just striping along the back. She has you do a 2x2 rib for the cuff. I did 16 rounds for my sock, and then a slip stitch, heel flap, and gusset. I think they are perfect on this black backdrop. And the really cool thing about this pattern is that you never need to cut your yarn. You start with the solid color, and then once you incorporate the self-striping, you just carry the other strand of yarn all the way through. My goal is to get the second Summer Rainbow Connection sock done by the end of September to keep up with my little self-imposed quarterly make-along for this pattern. January, February, March, I did this pattern in the winter rainbow sock set. April, May, June, I did it in the spring rainbow. And then I cast this first one on in July. So I don't work quite as quickly on this. I just want to get a pair done every quarter and finish it along with the season. I have one more, the autumn rainbow set to cast on, hopefully at the beginning of October, and work on that throughout the fall. This is the Rainbow Connection sock by Kay Litton, the Crazy Sock Lady, knit up in Desert Vista Dye Works Summer Rainbow Sock Set. Next is another half finished object. This is my first Tokyo sock. This is a pattern by Mina Phillip, the Knitting Expat, and it is from her Around the World in 8 Socks collection. This is the 6th sock. She's got one more coming out in September, and her final one comes out in October. Here's another shot of what the patterning looks like. Some really pretty faux cable twists and some nice lace work. The yarn I used for this sock is from Lolo Did It, her Downton Abbey Upstairs and Downstairs collection. The main color is called Marigold, and the contrasting mini is called Switzerland. I did 20 rounds of the ribbing that she calls for in the pattern, worked down the leg, and did a German short row heel that she calls for. I did do it just stockinette with knits and purls, and kept working down the foot and did the rounded wedge toe that she calls for in the pattern as well. I am very excited to cast on the second sock and finish this pair this month as well, so I am ready for her next pair that comes out in September, which is inspired by the city of Vancouver, British Columbia. This is the Tokyo sock by Mina Phillip, part of her Around the World in 8 Socks collection, knit up in Lolo Did It Marigold and Switzerland. Now on to my works in progress. My first work in progress is my August pair of Desert Vista Dye Works socks for her 7th annual monthly sock club. This is the colorway Happy Girlfriend's Day. I'm using my Summer Sock Camp 2021 Progress Keeper, as well as my Summer Sock Camp bag from Stolen Minutes and pin from Crazy Sock Lady Designs. Both the Progress Keeper and the pin were from Crazy Sock Lady Designs on Etsy. However, I believe she's transitioning into her own website. This is just a plain vanilla sock. I marked on the back where I will cut for my afterthought heel. And I just need to work up a little bit more up the leg. I'll probably try to do about 15 rounds of 2x2 rib for the cuff. I started these 2 at a time, toe up, with my wedge-shaped toe using Judy's Magic Cast On. I'm using my ChiaoGoo 40-inch red lace needles. And I love how these colors look together. It's very bright. I love the pop of the black stripe. As you can see, I marked halfway through this kind of lighter purple stripe, and so that's where I will pick back up in the yarn when I start my afterthought heel. I cannot get enough self-striping yarn. It is so much fun to work with. You just keep wanting to get into the next stripe and then the next stripe. I am really enjoying these. This is a pair of plain vanilla socks, knit 2 at a time, toe up, using Happy Girlfriend's Day by Desert Vista Dye Works. Next, I'd like to tell you about my latest pair from The Cozy Knitter. I have it in my Mary Poppins bag from Fangirl Fibers on Etsy. And here they are. I am also doing these 2 at a time, toe up, using my wedge toe and Judy's Magic Cast On. I am using my Knitter's Pride Nova Platina 40-inch circular needles for this, using Magic Loop. This colorway is called Bed of Roses, and I think it is one of my all-time favorites. Here's what it looks like in the cake. And as you can see, there's a beautiful gradient of greens, and I am just getting into what will be a beautiful gradient of pinks. I absolutely love how these are knitting up. She did include a really pretty pink contrasting mini for heels, toes, and cuffs, and I used it for the toe. I will use it again for my Fish Lips Kiss heel when I work up a little more of the foot, and then I will also use the mini for the cuff when I get up there as well. I always like to do a 2x2 rib cuff for my Cozy Knitter socks. This really cute mint Oreo ice cream cone progress keeper is from Sweet Cherry on Etsy, and I think it goes really nicely with this colorway. I am doing these just plain vanilla. I think these stripes speak so loudly for themselves that I'm happy to just show off these beautiful colors on plain stockinette. This was her Yarn of the Month colorway from April earlier this year. And again, I think this is absolutely going to end up being one of my very, very favorites. I cannot get enough of this pink and green. It almost reminds me kind of watermelon. This is a plain vanilla sock knit 2 at a time, toe up, in the colorway Bed of Roses from The Cozy Knitter. Next up is my latest pair of socks from Yarnable. This was her April 2021 colorway. It is called Stormwatch. Last time I showed you the first sock in this pair, and here's where I am on the second sock. This is the Wyatt sock by Kay Litton, the Crazy Sock Lady. I am doing these on my Addi Flexi Flips. This is a super fun sort of spiraled pattern with knit and purl ridges. Really fun, and you kind of really get a flow with this. It's a very easily memorizable pattern because you can kind of read your knitting and see where you are at. My chocolate chip cookie dough ice cream cone progress keeper is from Sucre Miniatures, and I have it in my Hamilton project bag from Fate's Thread. I have about 4 more pattern repeats to go down the leg, and then I will do a slip stitch, heel flap, and gusset that she calls for in the pattern, and continue down the foot. I believe this is one of her free patterns on Ravelry, and it is an excellent one if you are ready to go beyond vanilla and work with some knits and purls in your sock pattern. She does have you only do the patterning across the front and then plain stockinette on the back, so it gives you a nice little break. This is the Wyatt sock by Kay Litton, the Crazy Sock Lady, knit up in Hypnotic Yarns Stormwatch from her Yarnable subscription box. My last sock whip that I would like to tell you about is a plain vanilla sock. I am knitting it cuff down using a 9-inch circular. This is ChiaoGoo red lace. It is my first Halloween sock, and it is in the colorway Witch Please from Knitted Wit. I absolutely love this colorway. My Halloween cookie progress keeper is from Sweet Cherry on Etsy, and I love these kind of candy corn colors. Here's what it looks like in the cake. Last time I was here about halfway through the ribbing, I did 20 rounds of 2x2 ribbing, And as you can see, I've worked a little bit more down the leg on this one. I'll probably do about another 20 or 30 rounds. And I haven't quite decided yet if I want to do a Fish Lips Kiss heel or if I want to try the ever-growing in popularity Shadow Wrap heel from Denise DeSantis, the Earth Tones girl. So I'm not quite sure what I want to do as far as the heel, but I've got a few more rounds to decide. Let me know in the comments below, have you tried the Shadow Wrap heel? And if so, what did you think? It seems like everyone I've talked to that has knit the Shadow Wrap heel absolutely loves it. So let me know what you think in the comments below if you have tried it. This is a plain vanilla sock knit cuff down in the colorway Witch Please by Knitted Wit. My last whip I would like to tell you about is my new mystery knit along that I started last week by Casa Pinka. It is called the Snarkometer Mystery Knit Along, and it is a rectangular shawl. I am working on Clue 1 that came out last Saturday, the 14th of August. So spoiler alert, if you don't want to see through section 3 of the first clue of the Snarkometer, look away or fast forward. Okay, here it is so far. Really loving these fun stitches. So far I have used colors A, B, and C. My color A is at the bottom where she had you start with a little bit of kind of some ribbing. My color B is sort of my main color, this lighter pink. And my color C is these little baubles that you kind of see popping through. The yarn I am using for this is my color A. It is a little Knitty diamond base in the colorway Perseverance. My main color B is by Curl Up and Dye yarn. It is in the colorway Faded Rose Petal. My color C is a little bit of a Stellina base. It is Uru Yarn's Sugared Sock by Knit Crate in the colorway Blood Moon. And my color D is from Knit Picks. This is their Capretta Superwash in the colorway Kern's Hand Painted. I have not incorporated this color yet, but I'm guessing it will probably come in Clue 2 that comes out tomorrow. I am using this really cute butterfly bag with a rainbow bottom from Southern Sewn by Sharon on Etsy. Perfect for a big shawl that has lots of different balls of yarn. Here's one more quick look at it. I'm using my ChiaoGoo Red Lace Interchangeable. Right now I'm using a size 6. And I am really enjoying seeing how these colors play together and all the different stitch combinations. I'm looking forward to showing you more progress on this next time I record. This is the beginning of the Snarkometer Mystery Knit Along shawl by Casa Pinka. Well, I think that's about all I have for you this episode. Thank you so much for spending a little bit of time with me. I really appreciate you supporting my channel. Please don't forget to give this video a like and consider subscribing. That would really mean so much to me. And as always, please let me know your thoughts and feedback you have for me about this podcast. I'd love to know what you think. You are more than welcome to leave a comment down below or message me on Instagram. I am at KnittyHeather on Instagram and I would love to hear from you. But until next time, be well, be kind, and happy knitting. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.